Hey, this is Liam, your narrator. Just want to say a very quick thank you to all of you listening, watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that good stuff. It really helps out the channel and is much appreciated and very encouraging for me. So with all that said, let's get into the story. As a folklore enthusiast, the gateway to hell had always captured my imagination. This urban legend, woven into the sleepy town of Stull in Kansas, painted a terrifying picture of a graveyard where the devil himself was rumoured to hold court. Despite the ominous lore, I found myself drawn to it, a morbid curiosity pulling me towards the epicenter of this chilling mythos. Late one cold evening, as I arrived at the Stull Cemetery, a slight fog clung low to the ground, casting an ethereal veil over the scattered tombstones. There was a whisper of wind, barely touching the dead leaves strewn about. I walked carefully, my heart pounding, a primal fear gnawing at my nerves. "Are you sure you want to do this?" my guide, an old local named Edgar, asked. His weathered face was set in a grimace. He had agreed to accompany me on this late-night venture, albeit with great reluctance. "Yes," I replied, clutching my flashlight, its beam creating eerie shadows on the worn gravestones. I had to know if there was any truth to the legend. If fear was the price, I was willing to pay. The legend said that when the church bell tolls midnight, the veil between our world and the underworld would thin, that the devil would emerge to hold court with his lost souls, a horrifying spectacle that none could bear witness to and retain their sanity. Edgar led me to an ancient twisted tree, its gnarled roots twisted into the ground near a tombstone worn away by time, barely legible. The whispering wind seemed to grow colder, and I shivered. "Time's almost upon us," he murmured, his gaze steady on the old church nearby, its steeple a dark silhouette against the moonlit sky. The minutes crawled by. As the old church bell began to toll, a sense of foreboding washed over me. The shadows seemed to stretch and contort unnaturally. My heartbeat echoed in my ears, the chilling toll was counting down the impending dread. Then, one final chime. I felt it, a cold, oppressive force that seemed to suck the warmth from the air. A sense of profound wrongness overcame me, and I felt an unseen presence around us. I spun my flashlight around, but the light seemed to get absorbed into the darkness, revealing nothing. Suddenly, I saw figures emerging from the fog, a spectral court in ragged clothes, their faces lost in the shadows. A chill ran down my spine. Their silence was unnerving, their presence almost tangible. And then, from the darkness, he stepped forth, an imposing figure, shrouded in darkness, his presence a palpable wave of dread. My heart pounded so violently, I feared it might burst. I dared not look upon his face for fear of what I might see, but I could feel his gaze upon me, a weight that threatened to crush my very soul. I tried to move, to run, but I was rooted to the spot, held in place by an unseen force. I could hear Edgar next to me whispering a prayer, his voice trembling with fear. The spectral court seemed to bend towards the imposing figure, their silence replaced with a chorus of whispers, the words of which I dare not repeat. I can't recall how long the dreadful court lasted. Time had lost all meaning in the face of this unspeakable terror. Suddenly, as if a switch had been flipped, they were gone. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and I could breathe again. As I turned to Edgar, His face was ashen, his eyes wide with unspoken terror. We left the graveyard in silence, the horrifying encounter weighing heavy upon us. The legend of the gateway to hell was no longer just an urban legend to me. I had borne witness to the terror, a spectacle that will haunt me till my dying day. But as I left Stull, Kansas, a dread realization struck me that some doors, once open, can never truly be closed again. Hey, it's Liam again. This is a little Easter egg for all of you who have stayed right up until the end. Big thank you to all of you. And I look forward to sharing more stories with you very soon in the next video. Take care.